big part of this work came out of what is equity? And we utilized the definition from Achieving the Dream. And I'll read it just as it is because I want all of us to see really what this means, what equity means. And again, every institution is going to have their own definition of equity, but it should all be planted in this foundation of some similarities here. So Achieving the Dream believes that access to high quality education in an inclusive environment is the right of all individuals and imperative for the continued advancement of a strong democracy and workforce. Achieving the Dream also believes higher education institutions have an obligation to work toward better equity for their students. Equity then is grounded in the principles of fairness. In higher education, equity refers to ensuring that each student receives what they need to be successful through the intentional design of the college experience. So again, equity is grounded in fairness. What is going to be there to help every student succeed, whatever their success and goals are? We just need to make sure we've given them the fairness there to be able to do that. Now, an important aspect of achieving equity is dismantling barriers. So what are those barriers that may be in place?
Our Closing the Equity Gap subgroup identified 2 initial steps that are important to the process. The first is define equity and to create a statement of commitment to equity-mindedness. The Achieving the Dream statement that Tiffany discussed earlier might serve as a framework, but colleges should consider their own community and student population when developing their definition of equity. Subpopulations might be historically underserved groups, such as racial and ethnic minorities and first-generation students. In addition to defining equity, goals and a timeline for achieving the goals should be established, as well as a system to track progress. It's not enough just to create a statement of equity, but goals must be established to make sure that progress is being made. The second point is that post-secondary institutions should review and amend policies and practices that perpetuate inequities in order to impact a broader community of learners. And this has become increasingly important in recent months, largely because of COVID-19 and inequities that have become more obvious during this time. We defined the steps in the student experience, including connection and recruitment, entry and enrollment, progress and persistence, completion and transition. Transition might be going into the workplace, or it could also be transferring to a baccalaureate institution. And it's important that equity-mindedness be infused in every aspect of the adult learner experience. If it's not, an individual might not make it to that next step. Our next step in the process is progress and persistence. About 38% of students with outside financial, work, or family obligations leave within the first year. Without support to help them overcome some of those barriers, it's impossible for them to stay. Inclusive teaching practices and culturally relevant pedagogy are important to students to feel valued. And that might be accomplished through professional development for faculty so that they have a better understanding of teaching to a diverse and inclusive setting. And studies have indicated that a presence of faculty of color significantly influence the recruitment and retention of students in color. Students want to see people that look like themselves. And that it's not just about faculty, it's about administrative staff, advisors, everyone that's employed at the campus. And they could, if students can see themselves in those positions, they might believe it's actually possible. And faculty are key contributors to student perceptions of campus climate for diversity due to their role. Students spend more time with faculty than any other part of the college in most instances. So the faculty connections are very important. This figure shows the distribution of student parents by institution type. And as you can see, the majority of student parents attend a public two-year college, and that's 42%. And interestingly, if we look at just students in general, only 32% attend a public two-year college. So the public two-year college is really the place where student parents feel the most comfortable and where they're the most likely to succeed. Our recommendations for progress and persistence include support faculty professional development around classroom best practices that support diverse and adult learners. People learn in different ways, and it's important for faculty to understand what are the best practices to teach individuals at different points in their life course. It's also important to review recruiting and hiring practices and implement strategies to employ a more diverse workforce, including techniques such as implicit bias training for search committees. And again, this is not just about hiring a diverse faculty, it's about hiring diverse people throughout the college.